right, and then, but the problem was after 4 months was over, I was assigned to Korea.
Yeah.
And I had no desire to go back to Korea
Right.
when we had a war going on in Vietnam.
In Vietnam, right? Because you
So-
want to be on the front
Yeah,
line.
so when he told me about that, I told him, I said, I said, I respect the assignment. I said, but if orders hadn't been cut or anything, I said, let me talk to Sergeant Major Doble. So I called, got hold of Doble, he's at West Point. I got letters from Doble.
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah. So I called Doble and I told him, I said, Ted, I says, I was talking to Sergeant Major and he said that you had recommended I go with this general, I think his name was Cunningham, but I'm not sure, to test some cold weather equipment. I said, hell, don't want to do that. I said, the main thing, after that's over, I'll be assigned to Korea.
Forget, right?
Yeah, and I said, I damn sure don't want to go there. I said, what about the 26th Infantry? What about the Blue Spaders?
Right.
I said, they're still in Vietnam. I says, what I like to do is go back there.
Right.
And he said, I didn't think about that. He said, you need to go over there. He said, become a sergeant major. And I said, well, I hope so. I said, I'm on the list to be promoted. I said, but I said, I didn't like to be assigned as first sergeant or anything.
But in Doble's mind, he's thinking
Yeah,
he's giving you a nice trip,
Yeah,
though.
Doble, he says, he said, that's what I want you to do, Ray, is go to 26th Infantry. He said, I don't know why I didn't think about that. He says, let me get a hold of Sergeant Major, and he says, and get it straight. And he says, well, I think Bill Woodger was Sergeant Major then.
Woolridge?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was.
Of the
And
Army.
they were really close friends.
Yeah.
And I said, well, whatever we need to do, I says, he says, well, are you ready? I said, yeah, I've been ready. I said, just let me know. So anyway, what happened is that they changed my orders and signed me to Vietnam 26th Infantry.
Nice to have a little pull down
Right.
there.
And I went real quick.
Really?
Yeah, I went directly over there. And didn't have much time at all. I hope he gets that one. He got it. So anyway, I went back over there, and then, of course, the sergeant major over there was, they shipped him out to a support command. He liked that, Zeon. It's a higher command,
Huh?
and it's a brigade type command. And he was shipped up there. Bill Clark was his name. He was happy as hell, and I became the sergeant major of 26th Infantry, which I always wanted to be. I didn't
That was
want
your
to
goal.
be that in Vietnam with it. It'd been nice being in peacetime, but either way it was okay. And that was the best assignment that I ever had in the military, was being a sergeant major
But at
of
this point,
26th Infantry.
at this point, aside from Doble, right? You're the highest ranking NCO for the 26th in Vietnam.
I was then,
When you
yeah.
made command sergeant major.
That's
This is
when I was,
1968.
Right, I was sergeant major when I was within the 26th. I was highest ranking non-commissioned officer.
Okay, when you came over to Vietnam, were any of your officer candidates involved with your trip over there? Did you have command of them?
No, I met some over there. Stilwell, Captain Stilwell.
Yeah.
He was assigned 11th AC, which was OPCON to, attached to. I met him over there, and I seen a couple of them. I came, that they were all captains then, some of them.
Right. Did they acknowledge you?
Oh yeah.
It was easy to hook up with
Yeah,
you?
oh yeah. When I retired in 1972, I started selling cars up at Muldrow, next to Fort Knox.
Right.
And after I've been there a couple of months, I'd say the third month I was there, I sold 43 cars in 1 month.
We've got that
It's in
story.
that paper. But the thing is, that's because I knew about it Fort Knox, not because I was a good salesman.
Right.
Because people knew.
You've been on that
well,
base for so
right.
long.
Oh yeah, they know that I was sergeant major for them, and they knew that. You know, I looked out for them and all. So they was ready to buy a car. They all dashed out and bought it for me. There was so damn many of them I couldn't do any paperwork.
You're giving them
in one
away.
month, right? So, well, that's a true story.
Right.
That made the headlines for Ford Motor Company.
All right, well,
That's probably one reason why they wanted me to become a Ford dealer in 1979,
right,
because of that.
because you went so well when you hit the
Yeah,
ground.
I did
in
well,
70.
yeah.
So Doble releases you to go with the 26th to Vietnam. You
Right,
landed in
he got it done for
1968.
me. Yeah.
Do you know off the top of your head what month that was? I can look it up. You don't have to know it.
I'm gonna guess it's October of 1968.
Okay.
Okay.
I can
Because
look it
I
up
stayed
right
there
now.
till December '69.
Where did they land you at? What area of operation? You go in Saigon and
We
helicopter
landed
out of
in
here?
the Long Bend, which is right outside of Saigon.
Okay.
We landed there, and then you get orders cut where you further orders cut. You already got orders if you've seen NCO, but they just further cut the orders because I guess if they wanted to, I don't know about command sergeant major, but I know from sergeant major down that the commander could change the assignment. You know,
Right.
if you signed that unit, they could change it. You know, so I mean, if you hit Vietnam, you signed 26th Infantry. They can sign you where you're best needed somewhere else.
Right.
But being signed over that it becomes sergeant major, they wouldn't change that.
All right. The 26th in 1968 in Vietnam is a regiment, correct?
No, battalion.
Battalion, I'm sorry. And that battalion is made up of what groups?
Made up, it was companies A, B, C, D, and E. 5 companies and a headquarters company.
Okay.
So you had 6 companies in a battalion.
Right. And there's on average of 3 platoons per company?
4 platoons.
4 platoons.
3 rifle platoons and a weapons platoon.
Right. And these platoons are made up, unlike Korea where it was 42,
But
43 men.
there was a little less over that. I'd say because of short, I'd say each platoon would average about 32, 33 people.
Okay. So they've cut the numbers
Yeah.
down a little bit for some reason that we don't know. All right. And you're at MAC-V
MAC-V was the headquarters of all of Vietnam.
of all of it. And
Right.
they're stationed in Saigon.
Right.
And that's where your orders come from. Is that accurate?
Orders. Well, the commanding general MAC-V issued orders to all the units, yeah.
Yeah.
To the corps, you had 3 corps over there, you know, and he'd coordinate with them. They would give the orders to divisions. We was 1st Division, 26th Infantry.
Okay.
So the division commander would issue orders to the battalion, to the brigades. He had 4 brigades, the division had. So he'd probably issue orders maybe through the brigade commander to a battalion commander. But over there it's a little different because your battalions were so spread out, you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Each brigade had maybe 3 or 4 battalions that sometimes I would suggest maybe the commanding general his G3 or his deputy would deal directly with a battalion. I'm not saying he did, but I just had a feeling he did.
Okay.
Because a lot of times he'd fly out, you know, to our battalion base camp out in the field, out in the combat area.
Kind of like General Alvin, he was kind
Right.
of a hands-on kind of guy.
He'd fly out, and then after he left, I would talk to battalion commander, and he says, "Hey, bro, we had assignments been changed. We're gonna do this and that."
Okay.
So I'd say it came from him, you know.
All right, one quick question. When I'm at the boat and when the higher ups come down onto the gaming floor, we make a comment to everybody, shark in the water.
Yeah.
So we know there's a manager on board walking in.
Right.
When that commander comes in or on his way in, did you all have a colloquial statement like that? Like, here comes so-and-so, or
We say the big 6 is coming.
the big 6?
Big 6. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's get into logistics. In '68, And I assume partly because of your efforts in 63, 64, you reinitiate and come up with the concept of bringing the rat patrols back.
Yeah, after I got to Vietnam in '68, I had saw the Rat Patrol on, I think it was on Channel 32, ABC, I'm not sure, but they had a series, Rat Patrol.
Yeah, the TV
The
show.
World War, yeah. And I used to watch it all the time, and you know, it looks like it's pretty effective, but a lot of it's ridiculous. But anyway,
Yeah, that's
I used to watch it, right. And then when I got over that, the problem we had was that the infantry battalion really, unless you had a track company, I mean, 11 Phase C or somebody with 8 armored personnel carriers attached to you or something, we was always on foot. And even at night and daytime, we set up ambush patrols. You weren't too mobile. Once you got in a position,
right.
you know, you had to stay there. And if you had, say, 4 different ambush sites over for a platoon, they would be separated maybe 200 or 300 meters apart. If one of them got in heavy contact, the others just couldn't get there in time to help on foot.
Oh, not to mention
Right,
if you're doing an ambush and you end up against a division,
so
that's another problem.
Right. So I came up with the idea, I did that myself, came up with the idea of the Rat Patrol, and I told the battalion commander, Colonel Ratcliffe, I said, here's what I think we ought to do if it's okay with you. He said, Sergeant Major, anything is okay with me as long as we win the war and don't have KIAs on the outside. I said, well, I think we'll have less. I said, the only problem is no armor protection for a Jeep. And I said, the way I'm sitting up, I don't want any.
Yeah.
I said, all I want is 4 people on a Jeep. And I said, if we hit a mine or something, I said, we lose 4 people instead of losing the whole ambush.
32, right.
Right. And I said, then if one gets in a problem, I said, I want to have 4 or more. I said, at least 4. And I said, I said, we can aid one another. I said, it gives us 16 people. I said, but the problem, I said, we have, with 16 people, I said, we have the firepower of 8 platoons. I said, I'm putting 2 M6s on each Jeep.
Yeah.
Okay, be 2 people in the back, the driver, and the commander of the Jeep will be up front. I said, so, and then we can carry plenty of ammunition.
Right.
I said, we don't want.
Yeah, you can pack
I
that.
said, right. I said, put it right in that floorboard. And I said, of course, we have the radios on the back, and that's what they'll sit on to fire the M60s until we get in contact and stand up. I said, also, at night we can dismount one of the M60s and get it away from the Jeep in case they spot the Jeep. The RPG gets us. We still got firepower. So right. I said, at night, while we're traveling, we'll have dual M6s, but at night, one of them will be ground mounted away from the Jeep.
Okay.
I says, and I said, you see what we end up with. I said, we end up with 8 Jeeps, 4 Jeeps with 8 machine guns. I said, you won't find that. I said, and with just having 16 people, that's it. I said, but everybody is a fighter. I said, there's no commander there. He's in charge of the Jeep, but he's a fighter. I said, well, each Jeep, we got to have 2 M79s with ammo. Everyone's got to have an M16. That was their basic weapon.
Right.
I said, so here we got the grenades. I said, in addition to that,